Questions are circling around that explosion we've been following down in North Haven. Police say a man barricaded himself inside of a home Wednesday night before a barn on that property then exploded.
Yesterday, police found human remains on that property that still have not been identified yet.
John, it's South Central SWAT team. We're here to help you. We need to speak with you. Please make yourself visible to us. Do not resist. Listen to our command.
You are looking at exclusive video obtained by Fox 61 of a SWAT team asking the man by the name of John to come out of the house. Allegedly, this entire situation started as a domestic violence incident between him and his wife.
Yeah, right now we want to get right out to Fox 61's Tony Terzi, who's live in North Haven with the very latest. Tony, you're digging into that couple's past. What have you uncovered so far?
It's really an unsettled past, Ben. Good afternoon, everyone. Hi there, Jen. While there's very little evidence of what transpired here on Wednesday night because of the demolition crews that have been on site for the past couple of days, one man who lives several houses down from the scene of the explosion at 385 Quinnipiac Avenue shared some gripping video, some of which you just saw.
John, it's South Central SWAT team. We're here to help you. We need to...
An hour and a half before Wednesday's first explosion, an up-close look at the magnitude of this standoff as the SWAT team in position in the driveway of homeowner John Sayer.
We need to speak with you. Please make yourself visible to us. Do not resist. Listen to our command.
The massive law enforcement response because of a domestic dispute called into police Wednesday afternoon by Sayer's wife.
John, we're here to help you. Please make yourself visible to us. Do not resist. Listen to our commands.
Me and some of the other neighbors were outside watching, but about 5 minutes after the SWAT team started their thing, they told us to go in the house.
Then a short time later,
shook my whole house and scared everybody. And at that point, it was just insanity. The cops just took over the whole street.
yesterday, the scene looked like a war zone. Today, not much left as truckloads of debris were hauled away.
I think that it's pretty sad that his wife went through what she went through, and now everything that she has is gone.
Deborah Sayer, married for 40 years to John Sayer, filed divorce in New Haven Superior Court on April 17th, checking the box that said this marriage has broken down irretrievably.
She files divorce papers, and this is how he responds. I think that the guy was a really sad man.
A week after filing for divorce, Deborah Sayer updated her Facebook profile picture with one of Eeyore that says, "It's okay not to be okay. Some days are just harder than others." Neighbors describe John Sayer as quirky and reclusive. He's lived here for some 32 years, but just a reminder, state police and the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner have not yet released the identity of the individual that was discovered deceased in the burned out barn on the property. We're live in North Haven. Tony Terzi, Fox 61 News.
Tony, thank you very much for that update. You can expect continuing coverage from Fox 61 of this North Haven explosion as the investigation continues. Don't forget, you can always get the latest developments online on our app and on the Fox 61 Facebook page. Well, the Connecticut Department of Public Health says there are now 3 confirmed measles cases in the state. Yesterday, school officials in Southington announced a case against Daraneski Elementary School. Now, back in April, 2 other cases were reported in New Haven County. Health officials are warning the measles is a highly contagious disease. The best way to fight it is to get vaccinated.
Well, this morning, police say a body washed up on the shoreline in Westport. The man, who still has yet to be identified, was found right near Harbor Road. We do know that the body has been sent to the chief medical examiner's office, but police do not believe this death is suspicious.
The whole piece actually fell out one night, and they had her stay in her apartment the whole night without the bottom piece of her window.
Last summer, we showed you residents living inside Clay Arsenal Renaissance Apartments in Hartford. They complained about mice crawling into beds, moldy showers, and loose windows.
Well, today those residents are still fighting for better living conditions.
Yeah, earlier today I went around and toured some of those apartments and found that the complaints are continuing to go unanswered by the owner of those buildings. Now Hartford's Mayor Luke Bronin, he's getting involved going after that landlord financially.
It'll just fall out like that.
Mimi Seans made multiple calls and filed various work orders, her windows still broken,
But that's not all.
The floor is rotted underneath it. There's mold in the walls behind it. And as you can see, I'm still waiting on handles for my drawers.
The tenants in these apartments brought this to our attention a number of months ago. The conditions in which these tenants are living are deplorable.
According to HUD, the 26 buildings owned by Amin Holdings had unsatisfactory ratings for general appearance and security, in addition to leasing and occupancy, and below average ratings for a list of categories, including general management practices and follow-up inspection.
We are going to pursue aggressively, using every tool we have, every means to either make him do what he ought to do to make these living conditions livable, or he ought to get out of the city.
The previous administration in Hartford granted a tax abatement to Amin Holdings, one that's still in place today. But now, the city's fining the company $99 every single day for every violation, a fine that could cost the company over $10,000 a day. Mayor Bronin saying all of this is only happening because residents like Milagro Ortiz spoke out.
It's frustrating because I work, I pay taxes. It's not fair.
Milagros complained about her windows, which were then screwed shut, and infestation throughout her unit, where her autistic son lives as well.
I expect for my unit to be safe and secure for my kids, because at the end of the day, this is not my house, this is their house. These are for my kids. This is my kids' house.
People don't have that voice to speak up.
A.J. Johnson found out about the housing issues and organized the residents to use their voices to speak up and speak out, saying with over 5,000 people on the waiting list for Section 8 housing in Hartford, they're stuck.
It's hard to put them in the category of, what they could do or what they can't do. The statistics tell us that it's impossible to do anything. And so they continue to stay in this situation year after year, and no one picks up the issue.
Those residents not being silenced, and they have a strong message for a landlord who they say has been their worst nightmare.
We're coming to get you. Be prepared. You're gonna lose your apartments. We're gonna live better than this.
Strong words right there. Now, that $99 a day fine is in effect right now. It's retroactive back to 2008 when these complaints started coming in for the very first time. Inspections will be ongoing, and if more violations are found, the fine being imposed by that city will continue to go up. Moving on right now to a bit of a tough story we have here. New information on the death of a 5-year-old in Waterford. Police say the child's mother reported the little boy missing yesterday afternoon on Maple Avenue. Sometime later, they found him dead inside of a family member's car. Right now, police are not releasing that child's name, but they say the family's last name is Boselman. They're asking anyone who saw a child alone on Maple Avenue between 12:30 and 2:30 yesterday afternoon to please give them a call. The cause of death is still under investigation. Continuing on to that story, today Fox 61 spoke with an expert from Connecticut Children's Medical Center about preventing these exact types of tragedies.
If your child goes missing, you should immediately designate one adult to go check all the cars in the driveway or on the street to ensure that there's no child in the car.
Ahead tonight on the Nonstop News at 5, what that expert says parents need to make sure they do every single time they park their car. You're not going to want to miss that.
A shocking story out of Stamford. Police are looking for the person who tied a dog's legs with shoelaces, tortured, and killed it. Animal Control says a boater found the dog's body Wednesday in Stamford Harbor. The center says the dog was a black and white pit bull and severely malnourished. It wasn't chipped and it didn't have a collar. There's a $3,800 reward for anyone who can help police find the person responsible. Well, Danbury doctors say they removed a 132-pound tumor from a woman's abdomen. We do want to warn you that these images could be disturbing to some viewers. The 38-year-old patient sought medical help after gaining 10 pounds a week over 2 months. Well, it turns out that weight gain was actually an ovarian tumor. It took surgeons at Danbury Hospital 5 hours, but they were successfully able to remove it. It was benign, but doctors were worried about the stress the tumor placed on the patient's heart. She is, though, expected to make a full recovery. All right, we're going to hear from the doctors who removed that tumor on the Nonstop News at 5, so stick around for that.
And we hear she's back at work. Wow.
Really? That's excellent news.
Amazing. Okay, still to come here on the News at 4. The head of the state college system addressing concerns about a huge budget deficit and what it might mean for tuition going forward.
The scare for a school bus driver on a busy highway, a man jumping on the hood, what police just revealed about this case.
And President Trump stoking the controversy over gun control, addressing the NRA. All that and more coming up next.